Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. I of course am just another heavy metal maniac, and I am finally making part 2 of my album versus album video. I have put this off for far too long, so for that I do apologize, but now I am finally getting on it. So for those of you who might have missed part 1, go back and watch that. Basically, I just asked you people, the community, to give me suggestions. Make me choose between, albums from different bands, and I told you to go wild, and you guys sure did. So, yeah. Again, just go watch the first part if you haven't seen it yet, because that's where we obviously answer the first part of these questions, but we've got more questions to go through, so yeah. Without further ado, enough of my ramblings, let's just get right into this little video. So our first question is from John Hutchins 4157. And he says, very late submission here. Oh, don't worry about having a late submission, my guy. This is a very delayed video, so yeah. He says, Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power, or Alice in Chains, Dirt? This is kind of an easy one for me. So we're starting off fairly easy for this one, which I kind of appreciate. Nothing too difficult right off the bat. For me, it's definitely going to be Dirt. I like Vulgar Display of Power, but it's not my favorite Pantera album. But Dirt is one of my favorite albums of all time. Like, minimum top 10, probably top 5 favorite albums of all time. For me, I adore Dirt. So yeah, for me, it's got to be Dirt. Alright, now our next question from RB Productions, 1988. And they left a short little list. Ashes Against the Grain or The Mantle, both of which are from Agalloch. Personally, for me, I think this is another fairly easy one. I definitely have to say The Mantle. I think The Mantle is definitely the stronger one of the two. I like Ashes Against the Grain, but it's not. I think The Mantle is slightly better. Although my favorite Agalloch album, admittedly, is Pale Folklore. The Mantle is a really good album, so yeah, I'll definitely go with The Mantle on this one. Next up on their list, In Defiance of Existence or Vermin, both of which are from Old Man's Child. I will be perfectly honest, I have not heard either of them. Old Man's Child is another one of the black metal bands that I should know, but I just don't because I'm stupid, I guess. But yeah, no, I still need to get into Old Man's Child, admittedly, so for me, I'm just going to have to kind of go. I'm just going to have to abstain from this one because I haven't listened to either, so yeah. And their final question, Number of the Beast or Painkiller? This is kind of an easier one again. This is definitely going to be Painkiller, because Painkiller is Painkiller. It's Judas Priest, my favorite band, my favorite album by my favorite band. I like Number of the Beast, but if it was like Peace of Mind or Power Slave, you would have had a better shot, but I gotta go with Painkiller on that one. But yeah, RB Productions, solid list there. Alright, our next set of diabolical questions is from Destroyer 13. Screaming for Vengeance or Power Slave? This is a really solid matchup. Personally, for me, I'm gonna have to say Power Slave. If it was Defenders of the Faith, you probably would have had a better shot. I probably would have gone with Judas Priest then. And if it was Painkiller, I would have gone with Judas Priest. But, Power Slave, I mean, dude, Power Slave is one of the best metal albums of all time. Not that Screaming for Vengeance isn't, but dude, Power Slave is Power Slave. How can you not love Power Slave? Alright, next question from Destroyer 13. Symbolic or Altars of Madness? So far, these questions are not too difficult, which I kind of appreciate. So for me, I'm gonna have to definitely say Altars of Madness. I like Symbolic. Symbolic is a really good album. Nothing against Symbolic. But Altars of Madness is Altars of Madness. Like, Altars of Madness is like one of the greatest death metal debuts of all time. And yeah, it's an absolute masterpiece. So yeah, I gotta go with Altars of Madness on that one. Destroyer 13, some solid questions there. Alright, our next set of questions from Admiral Snack Bar 77. Rippy Kulu's Musta Ceremonia versus Disembowelment's Transcendence into the Peripheral. I will say, I think you might have done Rippy Kulu a bit of a disservice because you put up an EP up against a full length, or I guess, I don't know, is Musta Ceremonia a demo or an EP? I don't know, it's one of those two. But yeah, you kind of did Rippy Kulu a bit of a disservice by putting it up against A, one of the greatest Death Doom albums of all time, and B, again, putting up a band that never even had a full length up against a band that has one full length. So I love Musta Ceremonia. It's like one of the best Death Doom releases of all time, but I gotta go with Transcends into the Peripheral because, dude, it's an absolute masterpiece. One of the heaviest albums ever made. I absolutely love that album, so yeah, I gotta go with Transcends into the Peripheral. Next up on their list, Obituary's Cause of Death versus Gorguts Considered Dead. This is a pretty solid matchup too. I do really like both these albums, but I definitely gotta go with Cause of Death on this one. I consider Dead as a banger. That's still my favorite Gore Guts album, but Cause of Death is one of the greatest death metal albums of all time. So yeah, I gotta go with Cause of Death. Dude, the song Chopped in Half alone, or Body Bag, Infected. It's Cause of Death. I love Cause of Death. Cause of Death, or whether it's one cause of death or multiple causes of death. Who knows? Anyways, moving on. Blood Incantation's Hidden History of the Human Race, or whatever that album's called, versus Tomb Mold's Manner of Infinite Forms. This is kind of an easy one for me, too. I'm definitely going to say Tomb Mold on this one. I still just cannot get into Blood Incantation, but that Tomb Mold album is pretty decent, so, you know, I'll go Tomb Mold on this one. And the final question on Admiral Snack Bar's list, but both from the same band, Bolt Thrower's Realm of Chaos versus Bolt Thrower's War Master. Ooh, okay, this is a bit tough because I love both of these albums. Dude, like World Eater versus What Dwells Within. Okay, that's an impossible question. This is a hard one. I love Realm of Chaos. Like, dude, like World Eater and All That Remains, Through the Eye of Terror, Eternal War. But then on War Master, you have Cenotaph, What Dwells Within, Shreds of Sanity, the title track. Okay, just by a slight inch, I think War Master probably edges out Realm of Chaos just slightly, but again, I absolutely love Realm of Chaos, so, you know, I'm gonna say War Master, but man, that's not an easy one. Admiral Snack Bar, that last one was really, really mean, dude. Yeah. Alright, next up from Gino Diablo, and they left a lengthy list. The Great Malenko versus the Slim Shady LP. Alright, I'll be perfectly honest, I have no idea what the Great Malenko is. I'm going to assume it's hip-hop. I'm just admittedly not, like, the biggest fan of hip-hop, so, yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of abstain from this one, because I really don't know either. Same with their next one, The Chronic versus Doggy Style. Again, I know of both these albums, but I don't really know them at all, so I just gotta sit this one out. But thankfully, this next one, I can, in fact, have an answer for. Are You Experienced versus Electric Ladyland, both of which are obviously from Jimi Hendrix. Both really good albums. I like both of them quite a bit. I'd probably go with Are You Experienced a little bit more, though, just because, I mean, come on, dude. Are You Experienced? It's a classic. So many, you know, great riffs and stuff. Like, the riff on Purple Haze alone is, yeah. I mean, I love Electric Ladyland, but I gotta go with Are You Experienced on this one. Next up, Dusk and Her Embrace versus Midian, both of which are from Cradle of Filth. I'm gonna have to sit this one out. I'm not a Cradle of Filth fan at all, so I don't really like either of these albums, so yeah, I'm just gonna have to kind of abstain from this one. Next up, October Rust versus Razorblade Romance. Yeah, this is an easy one, definitely October Rust. Nothing against him, but sorry, you're up against Typo Negative, you lose. I mean, yeah, October Rust, that's some tough competition there, I'm sorry. Alright, next up, All Eyes on Me versus Ready to Die. Again, I'm gonna have to kind of abstain from this one. I really don't know either of them, so yeah. Same with this next one, Enter the 36 Chambers versus Illmatic. Again, I don't really listen to much hip-hop, so I really don't know either of them. I know, shame on me, admittedly elitist, but yeah, I really don't listen to either, so yeah, I'm gonna have to sit this one out. But this next one I'll thankfully be able to answer. British Steel versus Killers. I'll probably say Killers for this one. I feel like we might have answered this one in part 1. Although I know it was British Steel up against some other Iron Maiden album that it might have been British Steel versus Killers, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Killers because yeah, Killers is a banger. British Steel is good too, but Killers is Killers, so yeah, killer album. And finally, the final question from Gino Diablo: Pretty Hate Machine versus Astro Creep 2000. I think I'm probably, again, I'm not an overly huge fan of either, honestly, but I'd probably lean a little bit more towards Pretty Hate Machine just because, I don't know, I think Pretty Hate Machine is probably the slightly better album there out of the two, but yeah, solid list, Gino. A lot of stuff in there that I don't really listen to, so sorry that I couldn't really give you like a full you know, sorry that I couldn't really answer a lot of your questions, just because it's just a lot of stuff I don't really dive into. But yeah, solid list. All right, next up from Sam Suffeld, 4273. Unknown late to the party here, but Immolation, Dawn Possession versus Incantation, Onward to Golgotha. I know for a fact we did this one in part 1. For me, it is Onward to Golgotha. But this next set of questions we have not done, and boy, these are some fun ones. All right. So from Tori Lux Eterna, Morbid Angels, Aluminum Anus versus In Flames battles. Yeah, I mean, they're both shit. They're both really, really bad albums, but I'd probably have to say Battles personally, just because, I don't know, Battles isn't as bad as Aluminum Anus. Like, Aluminum Anus is just one of the worst albums of all time. Battles sucks, but it's like, again, it's like comparing monkey shit to elephant shit. They're both shit, but I don't know, Battles, I guess, is slightly less shit. Whatever. Next up, Dissection, Rhine Chaos versus Carcass, Swan Song. Alright, this is an easy one for me. Definitely Swan Song. I actually like Swan Song. I think Swan Song is an incredibly underrated album. I love that album, personally. I don't really like Rhine Chaos at all, though. So, yeah, no, Swan Song, easily. Next up, Megadeth, Risk versus Annihilator's Waking the Fury. Yeah, this is another one. Yeah, both these albums are not good, but I'd probably maybe say Waking the Fury. Just because I think Risk is easily the lowest point in Megadeth's career, and it's a really bad album. But I mean, Waking the Fury isn't great either, but it's slightly better than Risk, I think. But again, they're both shit, so I'll say Waking the Fury. All right, next up, 6 Feet Under, Nightmares of the Decomposed versus Nickelback's All the Right Reasons. I will happily take Nickelback's entire discography versus ever listening to that 6 Feet Under album ever again, because my god, that it's honestly probably the worst metal album I've heard to date. It's like, from like an established band, because obviously, yeah, there's like random, you know, fucking bedroom black metal projects that sound worse, but I don't know how Nightmares of the, like, even if it was bad, they could have done better than Nightmares of the Decomposed. That album is just so terrible. It's not good at all. It's not good. So yeah, yeah, Nickelback isn't like great, but they're not the worst thing ever. So yeah, Nickelback easily. And the final question from Tori Lux Eterna: Bathory Octagon versus Sepultura's Against. Again, both these albums are pretty shit. Maybe, I don't know, these are both probably my least favorite albums by these bands. I guess I'd say maybe Against, just because it's, I don't know, there's like some decent moments on Against, I guess. There's nothing really on Octagon that I think is good at all, so yeah, no, I'll say Against, but yeah, all those albums are bad, except for Swan Song. Swan Song is damn underrated, and I personally love that album. But yeah, solid list, Mr. Tori Lux Eterna. You are a motherfucker. All right, now moving on to our next set of questions from fellow YouTuber Mr. Rusty Darlington. What is up, Rusty? And you left a small little list here. So starting off with Paranoid versus Master of Reality. I like Paranoid. Paranoid is a really good album, don't get me wrong, it's a classic for a reason, but I think Master of Reality is the Sabbath album, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to say Master of Reality on this one. Alright, next up we have a battle of Iron Maiden albums. Iron Maiden, Self-Titled versus Killers. Yeah, I really like both these albums. I definitely think Killers is just the slightly stronger of the two Di'Anno era albums, though. Just because, you know, it's, I just think it was a slight improvement, definitely on, like, the production front and everything, but which I know you love the self-titled album, but, I'm gonna go with Killers, personally. This next one, In the Nightside Eclipse versus At the Heart of Winter. Did we do this one in part 1? I feel like we did. Did we? I feel like we did this one in part 1. For me, it's going to be At the Heart of Winter. I love In the Nightside Eclipse. It's one of the albums that cemented my love of black metal, but At the Heart of Winter is probably my favorite Immortal album from one of my favorite black metal bands. So, yeah, At the Heart of Winter, it is an absolute banger. And next up, we have a battle of Venom albums. Welcome to Hell versus Black Metal. Yeah, both classic albums, obviously. I mean, yeah, they're two of the most well-known metal albums of all time. But yeah, I definitely like black metal. I think black metal is the best Venom album. Welcome to Hell. It's a lot of fun. It's, you know, it's dirty, sleazy, punky. It's a really fun album, but I like black metal a little bit more. Just cause, dude, the riffs on the album are so damn catchy and awesome. Like, Countess Bathory is still one of my favorite Venom riffs ever, and like To Hell and Back is another one of my favorite Venom songs. So yeah, black metal for me. Next up, Leprosy versus Altars of Madness. My second favorite Death album versus my favorite Morbid Angel album. I really like both of these albums quite a bit. Personally, for me, though, I'm probably going to have to go with Altars of Madness again. Altars of Madness has not lost a single matchup since in Part 1 or Part 2 so far, which is fucking, yeah, because, I mean, it's Altars of Madness. It's one of the greatest metal albums of all time. Not that Leprosy isn't, but I got to go with Altars of Madness on this one. All right, for his final question, it looks like he's gone with some bands rather than albums. Nirvana versus Alice in Chains, which I know you are not the biggest fan of grunge. I'm not necessarily either, but this is very easy for me. Alice in Chains, without a doubt. I love Alice in Chains to death. They're one of my all-time favorite bands. I don't really care for Nirvana, though. So, yeah, I'll go with Alice in Chains. All right, next up from frequent commenter, Mr. Tainted Lord 87. What's up, Tony? And you also left a short little list here. So, starting off with Slayer's Reign in Blood versus Creator's Terrible Certainty. Ooh, okay, this is a tough one, because I love both of these albums. I mean, Terrible Certainty, that is my #1 Creator album. I absolutely love that album. Okay, if it was Hell Awaits or Seasons in the Abyss from Slayer, I would have gone with Slayer, but Terrible Certainty is Terrible Certainty, so I gotta go with Creator on this one. Yeah, no, solid matchup though. I love Reign in Blood. It's an absolute staple for a reason, but Terrible Certainty is one of my favorite thrash albums ever, so yeah, Terrible Certainty. Next up, Dark Tranquillity's Damage Done versus Carcass's Surgical Steel. Never really solid matchup here, both kind of like, you know, melodic, very kind of like different interpretations of melodic death metal, I feel like, but so a good matchup. I gotta go with Damage Done, though. I love Damage Done. That's like one of the best, like, early 2000s melodeath albums ever. I love that album. So don't get me wrong, Surgical Steel's a banger, but Damage Done is Damage Done. So yeah, Damage Done. Next up, Autopsy's Mental Funeral versus Brutal Truth's Extreme Conditions Demand Extreme Responses. This is an easy one. Sorry, getting a bit tongue twisted. This is an easy one for me. Definitely Mental Funeral. Again, Brutal Truth, kind of more of the grind stuff. I'm just not the biggest fan of grindcore personally, so for me, definitely Mental Funeral, because I love Mental Funeral. It's just, torn from the womb. Oh, I love that song. Next up, Napalm Death's Smear Campaign versus Dismember's Hate Campaign. So, do I want to be smeared or do I want to be hated? I guess that's the question. Well, again, when I put it like that, it's kind of weird, but, yeah, this definitely, for me, Dismember. Again, Napalm Death, just not the biggest grind fan. I like some Napalm Death stuff, but, you know, Hate Campaign, I really like Hate Campaign. I mean, I love Dismember's entire back catalog, who am I kidding? But, yeah, no, Dismember wins this one for me. Next up, Marduk's World Funeral versus Dark Throne's Plague Wielder. Neither of these are I think both of these were fairly low when I ranked both these bands. I don't recall exactly where they were, but I remember them both being pretty low. I'm not the biggest fan of Plague Wielder, honestly. Plague Wielder is just kind of boring in my opinion. So I'm definitely gonna go with World Funeral. I think World Funeral, even though it's not my favorite Marduk album, not by a long shot, I think it is pretty decent. I don't really like Plague Wielder all that much. I think it's just kind of boring personally, so for me, I'll go with World Funeral on this one. Next up, Sodom's Tapping the Vein versus Testament's Souls of Black. Ooh, this is a really good matchup. Early 90s thrash albums. Souls of Black is really underrated in my opinion. Like, out of like the early Testament stuff, I feel like that album doesn't really get as much love as it should. But, yeah, I gotta go with Tapping the Vein. Again, like, dude, Tapping the Vein, it's the heaviest Sodom album. So that's their borderline death metal album, and I love that album. I love Souls of Black, but Tapping the Vein is Tapping the Vein, so yeah, I gotta go with Tapping the Vein, I'm sorry. And the final question on Tony's list, and man, okay, man, this is a mean one. Fear Factory's Demanufacture versus Ministry Psalm 69. Dude, these are both like two of my big like gateway albums in the metal. Like I love both these albums. Psalm 69. That's like, I think that's probably the best. No, I think that is the best Ministry album. Like, dude, Song Jesus Built My Hot Rod and like Just One Fix, NWO. I love that album, but I love Demanufacture. I think I gotta give this one up to Demanufacture because, yeah, Demanufacture is Demanufacture, and I absolutely love that album. Like, dude, Self-Bias Resistor, Replica, the title track, Piss Christ, HK Hunter Killer. I love that album. So yeah, for me, I gotta go with Demanufacture on this one. Alright, yeah, so solid list there, Tony. Some fairly easy shit, but then some really mean shit too. So yeah. Alright, next up from Trolling in Paradise 1927. Asphyx, Last One on Earth versus Broken Hopes, Repulsive Conception. Yeah, this is an easy one for me. I am definitely going to go with Last One on Earth because, again, that is my favorite death metal album of all frickin' time. I love Repulsive Conception. It's a great album, but it's not my favorite Broken Hope album. If it was Loathing, you would have had a better shot, but even then, it's like, again, Last One on Earth is my favorite death metal album of all frickin' time. So, yeah, no, I love Last One on Earth. Again, Repulsive Conception, great album, but it's Last One on Earth. That's fairly easy. Alright, next up, we got a lengthy list here from Mr. Jake Embry 7159. What is up, Jake? And, okay, this first one's pretty mean. Sabotage, Hall of the Mountain King versus Symphony X, The Divine Wings of Tragedy. This is hard because these are both really, they're kind of similar to, like, they're both kind of like that progressive kind of power metal, US power metal style. I really love both of these albums, dude. Divine Wings of Tragedy is so good. That's possibly the best Symphony X album. I don't know, you guys can find out whenever I get around to doing a Symphony X ranking, but I think I gotta give up to Sabotage on this one. In the Hall of the Mountain King is, in my opinion, one of the greatest metal albums of all time. Dude, every single song on that album is amazing. Like, you have the title track and Strange Wings, White Witch, The Price You Pay, just the riffs and the like John Olivia's vocals. How can you not love that guy's vocals? But again, I love Symphony X, but I gotta go with Sabotage on this one. Next up, this is an interesting matchup: Black Sabbath Dehumanizer versus Dio's Strange Highways. I actually really like both these albums. Strange Highways, I think, is pretty underrated. Honestly, both of these albums are pretty underrated in my opinion. I'd probably lean more towards Dehumanizer though, admittedly, even though it is my least favorite of like the Dio era Black Sabbath albums. It's still a really good album, so you know, I like Dehumanizer, so even though I like Strange Highways, but Dehumanizer wins this one for me. Next up, Nunslaughter, Hell's Unholy Fire versus Blood, Christbait. Okay, Blood is a band I have heard of, but I've not heard anything from, so kind of by default I'm going to go with Nunslaughter. You know, I like Nunslaughter. They're just kind of like fun, freshy, kind of grindy death metal. They're fun. Yeah, that album is pretty good. Again, I still need to check out Blood, admittedly. I know they're like death grind, but yeah, I'm just not familiar with them, so yeah, I gotta go with Nunslaughter on this one. Next up, Exhumed Slaughter Cult versus Hemorrhage, We Are the Gore. Again, Hemorrhage is another one of these bands I still admittedly kind of need to check out. Not super familiar with them, but so it's going to be Slaughter Cult by default because I know that album and I like that album, but yeah, no, kind of by default, I gotta go with Exhumed. This next one, though, is more difficult. Demigod, Slumber of Sullen Eyes versus Amorphous, the Corellian Isthmus. This is tough. I really, really, really like both of these albums. Both my favorite albums by these bands, without a doubt. Dude, I love Slumber of Sullen Eyes. That's like one of the best finished... These are both really just awesome debut albums. They're kind of like different too, because Slumber of Sullen Eyes is kind of like almost kind of like incantation style death metal versus Corellian Isthmus, which is just that flat out, you know, like deathy, doomy style. But I'll probably say Corellianismus, just by a smidge. I love Slumber of Sullen Eyes, but I think I gotta go with Corellianismus just a little bit. Again, it's my favorite Amorphous album, and yeah, I gotta go with Corellianismus on this one. Next up, some more kind of brutal death metal. This is a fun matchup. Regurgitation, Tales of Necrophilia versus Devourment, Molesting the Decapitated. I like both these albums, but, well, I say I like both these albums. I like Molesting the Decapitated, but I love Tales of Necrophilia. So, Tales of Necrophilia for me. I absolutely love it album. It's like one of my favorite, not just like brutal death metal, one of my favorite death metal albums in general. Like, honestly, such an incredible album. Regurgitation was this one for me. Devourment, solid, but it's not Regurgitation, so Regurgitation. Alright, next up, we have Nevermore, The Politics of Ecstasy versus Sanctuary's Refuge Denied. The Battle of Waraldane albums. I like Nevermore a lot, but Politics of Ecstasy, admittedly, not my favorite album from Nevermore. I think I'm probably leaning a bit more towards Refuge Denied, honestly. I think Refuge Denied is, it's a banger. It's like, kind of like thrashy, power metal-y kind of style, a bit proggy. I like Refuge Denied. Politics of Ecstasy is solid, but it feels like Dreaming Neon Black or Dead Heart in a Dead World. Nevermore would have had a better shot, but I'm going with Refuge Denied. Next up, we have Carcass, Reek of Putrefaction versus Cadaver, Hallucinating Anxiety. I'm not familiar with Cadaver, admittedly. I don't like Reek of Putrefaction that much. I think it's easily the weakest Carcass album. It just sounds really bad in my opinion. But, I guess I'll go with Reek of Putrefaction because I know Reek of Putrefaction, and again, I'm not familiar with Cadaver. I'm going to assume it's more kind of like Gore Grind or Death Grind, but again, not familiar, so Carcass by default. Disastrous Murmur, Rhapsodies in Red versus Pungent Stench, For God Your Soul, For Me Your Flesh. I know of Disastrous Murmur. I know they're kind of like another one of the big Austrian death metal acts, but I still need to dive more into them, admittedly. Again, I know, shame on me, but I got Pungent still, yeah, again, by default, Pungent Stench, because I love Pungent Stench. They're just so much fun. And yeah, For God Your Soul, For Me Your Flesh, it's a really fun album, so, yeah, I'll say Pungent Stench, yeah. And the final question on Mr. Jake's list is Possessed Seven Churches versus Ripping Corpse, Dreaming with the Dead. This is an excellent matchup because these are both just absolutely vicious. I mean, I would still argue Seven Churches is more of a thrash album than a death metal album, although many people would argue it is a death metal album. So, however you want to classify it, they're both absolutely just fucking vicious albums. And okay, I love Seven Churches. It's an absolutely amazing album. One of the greatest debuts in metal. Again, one of the most important debuts in metal. But Dreaming with the Dead is one of my favorite death metal albums of all frickin' times. So, I love Ripping Corpse. I love that Dreaming with the Dead. Such a banger. Rift of Hate is still probably my favorite use of like a slam riff in a song. That dun 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 dun. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I gotta go with Ripping Corpse on this one. But Jake, solid list, man. Again, some real tough shit there, but a lot of stuff I don't know admittedly because again, I suck. But yeah, some really solid stuff there. Next up from Mr. Aaron Boardman 2796, Exodus's Pleasures of the Flesh versus Voivod's War and Pain. This is an interesting matchup because neither of these are my favorite album by these bands. I'd probably say War and Pain though, because I think War and Pain is a solid debut. Pleasures of the Flesh is a good album, but as a follow-up to Bonded by Blood, it's not. It's wedged in between like two of the best Bay Area thrash albums. So yeah, it suffers immensely. But War and Pain is pretty solid, so I'll go with War and Pain. Next up, Morbid Angels, Domination versus Cannibal Corpse's Vile. Neither of these are my favorite by these bands again. Domination, I know Domination is like easily the most divisive album in Morbid Angel's back catalog. I've always maintained that it would be a really, really solid EP if they just like cut off some of the bad tracks and some of the filler, but I'll say probably Vile for this one. I think because Vile doesn't really have any bad tracks on it. Again, it's not my favorite Cannibal Corpse album, but it's solid. It doesn't really have any bad tracks, whereas Domination has like, Hate Work and Caesar's Palace, which are just outright bad songs in my opinion, but yeah, I'll go with Vile personally. Next up, Bolt Throwers, The Fourth Crusade versus Ace Fix's Last One on Earth. Man, you guys really love putting stuff against Ace Fix's Last One on Earth. Again, it's Last One on Earth, because again, my favorite death metal album, I cannot stress this enough. Any other death metal album goes up against Last One on Earth, it loses. I love Fourth Crusade, I love Bolt Thrower, but it's gotta be Last One on Earth, I'm sorry. Alright, next up, this is an interesting matchup. Flotsam and Jetsams, When the Storm Comes Down versus Sacred Reich, The American Way. That's not my favorite Flotsam and Jetsam album. That would honestly probably be pretty low if I were to rank Flotsam and Jetsam. But American Way, I definitely see the comparison between these two albums, but I think American Way is definitely the better album. Like, yeah, it's a bit more groove-laden, a bit more kind of Metallica worship a little bit, but it's still thrashy enough that where I really enjoy that album. I think that was the last really decent Sacred Reich release, honestly, because after that, they just get really boring in my opinion, but you know, I'll go with the American Way on this one. Alright, next up, Hate Campaign is coming back for round 2. This time it is being paired up against Vader's Litany. Yeah, okay, I chose Hate Campaign over Smear Campaign, but it's gonna lose against Litany, because Litany is one of the best Vader albums. This is my number 2 Vader album. Yeah, I love Litany. Again, Hate Campaign is really good, but Litany is one of the most awesome thrashy metal albums of all fucking time. So, yeah, Litany it is. Alright, next up, this one's mean. Cryptopsy's None So Vile versus Suffocation's Effigy of the Forgotten. I feel like I should have seen this matchup coming because, I mean, these are like 2 of the greatest brutal death metal albums of all time. Man, these are both my favorite albums by these bands. Like, it's tough too because like, if there wouldn't be a None So Vile without Effigy. Like, Effigy was the birth of brutal death metal, but None So Vile is such this is the hardest one so far. This is the hardest one so far. I love Effigy of the... If it was like literally any other album by either of these bands, if it was literally any other Suffocation album, it'd be like, yeah, None So Vile. If it was any other Cryptopsy album, yeah, Suffocation. Okay, just by a little bit, I think I gotta take None So Vile. Again, I love Effigy of the Forgotten, but None So Vile is... that's just like still one of the most chaotic, brutal, intense death metal albums ever created. So, yeah, no, I gotta go with None So Vile on that one. Alright, and the final question on Mr. Boardman's list. Death Angels, The Ultra-Violence versus Testaments, The New Order. This is another tough one because these are... well, The Ultra-Violence, I think, is the best Death Angel album without a doubt, but the New Order... possibly my favorite Testament album, but it's really between that and The Gathering, honestly. I love The New Order. I love The New Order. It's such an amazing album. Into the Pit, and, like, dude, Disciples of the Watch. But then on the Ultra-Violence, you have, like, Thrashers, Voracious Souls, Evil Priest. And the title track, this 10-minute epic instrumental. Alright, I think just by a little bit, I think I'm going to go with the Ultra-Violence because, again, I love the New Order, I love Testament, but I gotta go with the Ultra-Violence on this one because it is one of the greatest thrash metal debuts of all freaking time. And they were like 14 years old when they made that album. It's fucking crazy how young they were. But yeah, solid list, man. Those last 2 especially, holy fuck, that was some mean shit right there, right? You're not allowed to comment on part 3 if I ever do a part 3. Alright, now our final set of questions is from Mr. Fuser667, and he's going with some classics, as to be expected from him. Diamond Head, Lightning to the Nations versus Tigers of Pantang, Wildcat. Some very, very classic new wave of British heavy metal stuff here. Personally, for me, I definitely enjoy Lightning to the Nations. Lightning to the Nations is, well, it's easily the best Diamond Head album, and, I mean, dude, so many, like, thrash bands and stuff say that album is a big influence. Like, it's absolutely awesome. Like, obviously, you know, you have, you know, Am I Evil, the title track, Sucking My Love. It's an amazing album. Wildcat is solid, but I think Diamond Head beats out Tigers of Pantang this time. Next up, Welcome to Hell is coming back for round 2, and this time it is being paired up with Morbid Tales. Alright, I really like Welcome to Hell. I mean, again, dude, like, I mean, the title track, and Schizo, and Sons of Satan, but I gotta go with Morbid Tales on this one. I'm admittedly a bigger Celtic Frost fan than I am a Venom fan. I love Morbid Tales, and I love Morbid Tales. Morbid Tales is absolutely awesome. Procreation of the Wicked. Yeah, Morbid Tales wins this one for me. Alright, next up, this one is... Oh boy, this is a tough one. Metal Church, self-titled versus Flotsam and Jetsam, Doomsday for the Deceiver. This is a tough one. I talk a lot of love for Metal Church on this channel, because those first two Metal Church albums are absolutely amazing, but those first two Flotsam and Jetsam albums are absolutely amazing too. Doomsday for the Deceiver is such a banger of an album, but so... Alright, if it was like No Place for Disgrace, I would have gone with Flotsam and Jetsam, because that's still my favorite Flotsam and Jetsam album. But I think I'm gonna go with Metal Church on this one, because that, again, yeah, that Metal Church album, like, dude, Gods of Wrath, Beyond the Black. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. I'm gonna go with Metal Church on this one. Alright, next up we have Pentagram versus Candlemass Tales of Creation. You cheeky man, you. This is, yeah, because these are both my favorite albums by both of these bands. I adore both these albums. These are both, like, desert island albums. Like, I'm not leaving without them. Like, again, two of my favorite albums of all freaking time. I think I'd probably, well, okay. This is a hard one too. I don't like the same more. I'm gonna go with, okay, just by a smidge, I'm gonna go with Tales of Creation. Again, I love Pentagram or Relentless or whatever the hell you want to call it, but Tales of Creation, my favorite Candlemass album, one of my top 10 favorite bands of all freaking time. I mean, Pentagram would be really, really up there too, but I gotta go with Tales of Creation just because, dude, Dark Reflections and Tears, Edge of Heaven, it's an amazing album. I gotta go with Tales of Creation. And the final question of this video is none other than Creator, Pleasure to Kill versus Sepultura's Beneath the Remains. I love Pleasure to Kill. It's an absolutely amazing album. Again, just pure intensity and ferocity. But Beneath the Remains is my favorite Sepultura album and is one of my favorite albums of all time. So, yeah, I gotta go Beneath the Remains. Like, dude, my title track, Inner Self, again, every single song there is a banger. Matt's Hypnosis, Sarcastic Existence, Lobotomy. Dude, I love Beneath the Remains, and I love Sepultura. Yeah, I gotta go with Beneath the Remains on this one. Alright, yeah, so that concludes this little video of making me choose between metal albums. Some of these were fairly easy, some of these were extremely difficult. So, yeah, no, this was fun though. Yeah, definitely look forward to, who knows, maybe I'll probably do more of this in the future. I'm probably going to save it for now just because I don't want to make the same video over and over again. But, yeah, no, this was a really, really fun matchup. So, yeah, thank you to everyone who left comments, and, yeah, really not much else to say. If you made it to the end of this video, you are awesome, and I appreciate you. Do consider leaving a like if you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below. Tell me, do you agree with my choices? Do you disagree with my choices? What are some, you know, how would you have taken these matchups? What would you have done differently? So, yeah. Again, not much else to say. I'm just going to quickly, edit this and post it. So, yeah. Again, sorry it took me so long to get around to this, but I finally have put it up here. So, yeah. I am just another Heavy Metal Maniac. I'll see you all sometime in the future. In the meantime, I hope you take care and have a great day. So long.